welcome back. Okay, that explains a bit of what we do with the Film Noir Foundation, and I'm hoping, I know, it looks great down there in San Francisco, doesn't it? We have a blast down there, and we're going to get there here in Seattle, right? Bring your friends, we're going to turn this into a party just like that. Okay, a couple of quick notes about the last film. If you're like me, you never want to hear Somewhere Over the Rainbow that is the $64,000 question tonight. I actually did the DVD audio commentary for that film when Fox put it out, and I could not figure out the riddle of why a song that is completely identified with MGM and The Wizard of Oz is featured so prominently in a movie made across town in 20th Century Fox, and also as ubiquitous in that film, and you will hear it again in this festival, is Alfred Newman's Street Scene, which is the other theme that you don't know the name for. You know Somewhere Over the Rainbow, but the other one that plays throughout that whole film is Alfred Newman's Street Scene, which is the unofficial noir theme of 20th Century Fox, composed by Alfred Newman, known to the youngsters in the crowd as the uncle of Randy Newman. That's right. It was inevitable that Randy Newman would write film scores because everybody in his family did. Okay, here's the truth. Well, one other thing I want to tell you very quickly. The writer of that movie, Steve Fisher, is a very significant figure in Pulp Fiction, and some of you may recognize this if you're a real noir head, but that book, I Wake Up Screaming, was a huge inspiration on another writer, Vera Casperet, who used it as the basis for her novel, Laura, which would end up made at 20th Century Fox just a few years after this. This was 41, Laura was made in 1944, and there are very many similarities with the dead girl and everybody's motives for who knew her how and what all was going on. And Vera Casperet has always said that it was Steve Fisher's I Wake Up Screaming that inspired her to write crime fiction. Okay, here's the reality of tonight's double bill. I lied about everything when I said it was all about the film noir movement and all that. This is my tribute to Elijah Cook Jr. Because he is in both of the movies that you are seeing tonight, and he plays, of course, exactly the same character. Because he did in every movie that he made in the 1940s. He is the patsy, fall guy, gunsel, weirdo, creep in the shadows. That is our man, Elijah Cook Jr., a.k.a. Cookie to his friends and family. So you will see him. It's as if he went from that film to this film, or vice versa. You're not supposed to laugh, but now you'll laugh uproariously when you see how this plays out. Okay, a lot of people call this the first true film noir made in America. I don't really know if that's true or not. It's the first one that really looks like a film noir. So this was made the year before I Wake Up Screaming, across town at RKO Pictures, written by a man named Frank Pardos, who wrote the story and the screenplay, and directed by a very unusual guy, Boris Inkster, a Latvian who actually studied filmmaking with Sergei Eisenstein in Russia, was quite talented, but when he came to the United States, really couldn't get any kind of work. Boris Inkster was just not going to get A Pictures to direct. He worked in the B trenches. There's a legend about him because he became very good friends with Nathaniel West, who was one of the great American writers, wrote Miss Lonely Hearts, Day of the Locust, the quintessential Hollywood film, or Hollywood novel. But there is a legend that Nathaniel West actually worked on the screenplay of this movie, and I have found absolutely nothing to verify that, other than the fact that Boris Inkster and Nathaniel West were really good friends, and Nathaniel West wrote a lot of B movies in conjunction with Boris Inkster, but it makes a hell of a good story to say that Nathaniel West actually worked on this screenplay. So believe it if you want to, although I have absolutely no proof to back it up. But hey, this week, who needs proof to back up anything you say? Thanks, right? Couldn't resist, I'm sorry. Okay, this film is shot by a fantastic cinematographer, Nicholas Musaraka, who was the house photographer at RKO, and you are going to see, if you've not seen this movie before, you're going to see some absolutely extraordinary visuals in this film. The art director, Van Ness Pogles, worked on Citizen Kane. You may have heard of that film. And his work in this is just as imaginative, really. And of course, can I leave the stage without mentioning the star of the film, who shows up here and there, Laszlo Lowenstein, a.k.a. Peter Lorre, appearing skulking, bringing that weird European infection into Hollywood movies with his appearance in this. And of course, the year after this, he would be Joel Cairo in Maltese Falcon, and the rest is history. And one last little note about this, the woman, the lead, Margaret Talashe, this would be one of the last movies that she would make because she would marry the director William Wyler, probably the most famous and successful director of all time in Hollywood. And Margaret Talashe would be Mrs. William Wyler. And it's great. All of her kids are still around, and they come out to the festivals all the time, Judy and David and Catherine, and they celebrate their dad's work. But I'm the guy who showed Stranger on the Third Floor and celebrated their mom's work in film noir, which you are about to enjoy. So again, thanks very much for coming out. We'll see you here over the next few days. Prepare yourself for more of Street Scene when we show the Dark Corner. And now enjoy Stranger on the Third Floor. Thank you.